Good morning, friends. Today we'll see a 10th program of a web technology. So I'll share the PPT, I'll share the content. So what is the 10th program? So here, welcome to the Web Technology Laboratory with mini project which has 10 programs. So already we have finished 9 programs. So 10th one is write a program to sort the students records which are stored in the database using selection sort. So this program tells us to create a database. So for creating a database, what we have to do, we have to use a WAMP server. So server which allows us to create a database. Just click on the taskbar of a icon WAMP server, switch on all the services, then go to MySQL. Under MySQL, there is an MySQL console. When you click on MySQL console, it allows us to do the MySQL programming. So here, what it allows, so in this, just enter the password. So password is no password for this. So please just enter a button, press a enter button, then it allows you to create your own database. So to create a database, we need to start, give the command as create database so that it will be created, right? So database is a web lab. So already I have created web lab, so I'll create one more is called a one more will create a student database. Student database, create student database, because it is already existing. So we'll create a one more database. I think I have given a wrong command. So here create database student. See, create database student, which allows us to create the database, right? Which allows us to create a database. So once you create a database, under the database, we need to create some rows. So to use that database, we need to use a command, give the command use database name. What is the database? A student. So student I have created with capital S. So just specify use student, right? Press enter. It allows you to change the database. So before it is different database, now we are under the database student. So under the student we can create a table now. So check whether there are any tables or not. To check the table, show tables, give the command as show tables. So there are no tables under the student database. So now create it. The syntax for creating is create table student with a name USN name. So whatever the name, whatever the column name will specify, it has to be matching in your program also. So be careful while giving the column names in a table. So student USN, then the data type of that, then a name which is also having a data type var character. I'll give name for 20 fields, then a address with a var character of again 20, right? So this is used to create a table. So if it is exactly the syntax, then it will give you query okay. If there are any mistake, then it will give you a error. So you debug it and give it in a proper format. Once you create, you insert the data, insert into a student table, insert into student with the parameters. So what are the parameters? USN. So I have to give USN, right? So I'll make a caps lock on 17CS021. Then a name of the student, right? So name, I'll give a Mohit. Then the address, right? Address in a capital letter, right? So shake, then I'll press enter. See there, because of a corresponding MSQL server query, Mohit Sheikh at line number 1, there is an syntax error because 2VD17CS021 I have given var character, but I have given it as an integer. To make it a string, we need to specify it in double quotes. Just modify the content and enter the values so insert into student values. So after student there is an a keyword values where you are what you are entering, you are entering the values. Once it is correct, it will give you a query. Okay, like this you enter some more information. So I'll give here as a 16 of 26, then the name of the user. So here I'll specify Rohit. Then instead of Sheikh, it is Sharma. Right? Then enter. Again, it is correct. So I'll enter one more. So now I'll give diploma student information. With this, I'll just change the year as 18. Right? So here name is Tanisha. Tanisha Ahuja. Right, then one more I'll enter with 17 CS 026 026. The name I'll give as Sonia Lad. Then there are 4 rows I have created, so I'll give select star from student. Right, so it will give you the data whatever I have entered. So this, using this we need to display the content of a 10th program. So the database is ready now. So what we need to do, we have to write a program. Right, so now I'll move to the program, how the program has to be written with the help of a PHP code. Right, so here the PHP which will display the database content using a table. Right, so table has to be first designed with a style specification. So I have added style, table for the border, width, the text alignment, border collapse and background color. So you can give any values for your choice, right? Then a PHP code where server name we need to specify, username, password and a database name. So what database we have created? We have created a database as a student. So student database where S is capital. Just refer that where a database is given as an a student. Right, student I have used. So in the program also database name is student. So to create a to access the database data, we need a array because there are set of elements in a database. So $a is declared as an array type. Then once the variable is declared, then connect it to the MySQL. So to create a connection to the MySQL, we need a function. So here MySQL I connect function which takes some of the parameters. The parameters are server name, username, password and an database name. Right. So the parameters we have stored already in some of the variables. So those variable has to be set for the function MySQL connect, and through this we are connecting using the variable $con. Now check the connection whether the connection is established or not through the function $con of connect error. If the connection is failed, then it will give you error, and if the connection is properly done with the server, then it will select the next, it executes the next query. Right, next statement. So if there is an error, then it will be displayed using a div function connection failed. Right, then if the connection is established, then it will execute the next code Where what is the next statement? Here we need to select the table from the database. So already database is linked. Now through the database link $con we need to select the table, right? So that has to be done with a query. So this is a database. So we need to send some query. So what is a query? Select star from student. So this is again it is stored in a variable $SQL. To perform the query against the database, we need to execute it, right? So to do that, we use a connection for the database. So through a $con, we are connecting it to the database and we are executing a function query. What is a query? It is stored under $SQL, right? So once it will give you an output. So the output will be stored in a $result variable. Right now what has to be done? We need to display the content of a database, content of a table, right? Table will be in a form of a table itself. So to create the table we need a HTML code. So here before sorting, the data will be written using table border equal to tr, where the headings are created using a table heading, USN name and address. USN name and address. Then check whether the result has some values or not. What is the result? Result which stores the output of the query. So which query? Select star from a student, right? So student here I have given as a capital one. So just check whether the student, no, student is small only. So it is correct. So just remember how we have created here also it should be in a same fashion, right? Then a result of the number rows. If a result has number of rows greater than 0, then it will be displayed, otherwise it will not display because our table is empty. So here output of the data of a table of each row will be fetched and a result of row can be stored in an associative array, where a associative array has to be fetched using a key and a value pair, right? So again to loop the content of a table as a row wise, we need to check with the variable result of fetch association function. If fetch association function has some data, then it is stored under $row. Then a table has to be connected because it is a previous table only. We are not closed here table. So in the table, we are creating some rows. So first row is ATR, where the first TD is of a $USN. What we are given in the USN? So here see in your table USN is capital one. So USN is capital, address and name. So in similar fashion here also it should be displaying. Otherwise it will give you an error, right? So USN, and in a row in the table I have created name N is capital, in address I have created as A is capital. Just look at the table how we have created. The see here the address A is capital, N is capital and USN is also capital, right? Using this we are getting a data. So once it is stored, then each the elements of the data of a table are sorted using a selection sort. To sort the element, we need a one key element, right? One key value of the table. So that is ESN. So again, store each user ESN into a array. So that is array $A. So array push function which stores the value of row of USN to $A. $A is an array. So here also USN is capital. Otherwise, it will give you empty value, right? So once the data is accessed, then it can be sorted using a array $A. So sorting can be done with the help of a selection sort. So we know selection sort. So to do selection sort, we need a number of elements of an array. So array has a value USN. So this count function which gives you number of elements of an array. So $n which will store the value of a array, right? So again store not to affect the original array element, we are storing a $A into one more variable as $B. Then check the looping. To sort the elements we need two looping. One is I looping and j looping. I looping starts from 0 to n minus 1 and j loop starts from 1 to n. Right? Once the position is assigned with the first element of an array, then that position has to be compared with the next element of an array. If it is greater than the position, first element of an array, then it has to be swapped. So using a temporary variable, we need to swap the element. So like this, the all elements will be checked in a loop in an array element having only USN. So according to the USN, this will be sorted. So once you sort the element has to be stored with the name address. So to do that, again execute the query. What query? Select star from student. Then it will be having some results. Again, those values will be getting an USN. According to the USN, what is the name? What is the address? So $A of $I has a USN. If it is matching with the database USN, then the name of the USN and address will be stored in a variable $C and $D. So now after sorting, we have to display the content. So to display the content, again use the table format. So table, it is a different table where the elements are sorted. So after sorting, we need to display the element. So the table contains a USN, name and address. So loop that using 0 to n. Now we need to display the elements from the variable $A, which gives you USN, $C, which gives you a name, $D, which gives you a address. Then close the table, close the connection. So this is how we can store a data. We can access the database and display the content in sorting. Right? We'll see now the output of it. Right? So again, go to WAMP server. Just click on localhost. It allows you to execute the program in a WAMP server. Then go to project. In the project, there is an 10 PHP, 10.php program. Just click on that. It will give you a value. See here, there are a first program which will give you the values. Right? So what I have created before the sorting. So if there are any errors, so just read it and go to that program and check the line. So line number 73. So what is an error? Undefined index USN, line number 73. Where is 73? 73 USN. See, I have not changed here. So this USN has to be capitalized because here in a program I have used USN as capital and here it is name. Then it is address A. Right? So if you are not changing according to your database, then it will not give you the output. So now go back to the browser, just refresh, it will give you a sorted element. Just look at the USN. Before sorting, it is 17CS21. Mohit is first, then 16CS26. Rohit is second one, and 18CS412. Tanisha. Then fourth one is 17CS Sonia. But here, once you sort out, you will get 16 first, then 17, then 18. Right? According to the ESN number, the names are matching. Say 17CS21 is Mohit Sheikh. Here also 17CS21 is Mohit Sheikh. Then your program is correct. Right? So I think you understood how the database has to be connected and how it will be executing the program through the PHP. Right? Fine. Then thank you.